Welcome everybody. Now before you panic and lose your minds, put down your pitchforks before you go, oh my god, he buffed Lando T, he buffed Landorus, holy shit, he gave it Roost, he gave it Parting Shot, what is this man thinking? I understand what you might be thinking, especially if you're a competitively minded player coming and just happen to be clicking on this video. By the way, welcome, hopefully my little intro didn't scare you away, but this ROM hack is balanced for in-game use, not competitive use whatsoever. I understand. Dude, if this seems crazy to you, the power creep in this hack is absolutely absurd. This is nothing crazy whatsoever, especially for a late game encounter of all things. He's incredible, don't get it twisted, he's awesome. But not number one, he's hurt by the prevalence of all these priority moves, especially stuff like Ice Shard and Frost Flurry, and just in general, you know, water, special priority, and all these other things. Crit moves in general make Intimidate so much less oppressive. Crit moves are very common in this hack. There's a new common ability called Ruthless, and all this other beautiful, very in-depth, elaborate buffs and changes to moves and Pokemon. And if you're curious about any of that, you should check out the description below, because 600 plus moves in this hack have been reworked to a massive extent, as well as 130 plus moves being brand new and custom. Check out those in the description below. I have a very detailed move sheet where it took me several months to make it. It's very in-depth, so definitely give that a look. But yeah, this is balanced for in-game use. It's balanced for hardcore Nuzlocke. The hack will be relatively difficult, so getting a nice little bulky pivot with Intimidate or a nice offensive Pokemon with Irrelate or Sheer Force is nothing too crazy. It is the only other ground flying type in the hack now, alongside Dodrio, because Gliscor is now a poison and dark type with Levitate, and Black Sludge heals the same amount of poison heal and all this other stuff. So yeah, and Tough Claws and all these other things. You can check out all those videos, and also just honestly, I'd recommend you look at the sheets and look at the Pokemon buffs there. Probably a lot quicker than looking at the videos, especially if you go back and look at videos. A lot of them are probably outdated, especially my earlier ones, because I change things very often. I'll probably end up going back and re-recording those. But back on topic to Landorus, yeah, Sheer Force is greatly buffed, not intentionally necessarily. Speaking of, I should probably add, I forgot to add the little Sheer Force section. I have a little copy-paste thing, yeah, where it just says, it's like, it hotlinks to all the boosted moves, where I made a little guide for all the boosted moves there. Let's just put that here, and then what color is this again? Right there. Alright, that's the wrong color. There we go. That's also the wrong color, come on. There we go. So, yeah, Landorus, awesome. Irrelate stuff like Giga Impact, Hyper Beam, and Extreme Speed is beautiful. Hyper Beam and Giga Impact drop your attack or special attack step by 2, and those are 160 base power. Strength, there's no more type close combat. All these moves are greatly affected by Irrelate. Irrelate also helps the fact that their only other physical flying stab would be Acrobatics and Dive Bomb, which is like not bad. Dive Bomb is flying type of jump kick, but like in general, having Irrelate is much cooler, especially for Therian form. For example, Irrelate E-Speed coming off of Therian is pretty crazy, very crazy, you know, especially with all those setup moves. So obviously these changes would be absolutely broken in a competitive sense. All of these would be. Every single buff for every single Pokemon would be absolutely unfeasible in the grand scheme of things. If I ever do make a shutdown server, it's going to be for fun. It's not going to be for like a genuinely balanced metagame, because that's not possible with all this variance. Speaking of variance, yes, Landorus can do a lot of things now. He's got that bulky stuff with Intimidate. He's got, you know, pivots with, you know, Roost and Parting Shot and all this beautiful utility. Battle Cry is great. That drops the opponent's attacking stats by 2, which is great for in-game use. Of course, that's what this is balanced for, like I said. Sheer Force boosted moves got tons of new ones. So Earth Power, of course, is still there. Air Slash is there. Hurricane is now Sheer Force. Well, actually, it already was, but I changed it from Confusion to a lower flinch rate. But yeah, you know, you've got the beautiful coverage you've always had. Keep in mind that Ice does now resist ground and flying, as well as Dragon and Ice. So you're going to want a coverage move for Ice if you're fighting an Ice-type Pokemon. But of course, the beautiful thing about this ROM hack is you have a lot of customizability in what you're doing for specific boss fights, because you have access to the trainer sheets and you have access to all the rosters and the moves that they'll have. You'll know exactly what's coming up ahead, so you can easily toggle on specific coverage moves for specific occasions. Irrelate isn't bad on Incarnate form, because again, you still have very powerful flying stab with Irrelate. So it just depends on if you need the flying move or if you need the boosted moves on your coverage or ground stab. For example, Precipice Blades is a physical Sheer Force boosted move. That's ground type. That's 130 base power, 85% accurate, and has a 30% burn rate normally. So that's incredible. I mean, Incarnate form is already pretty busted with his limited Sheer Force move pool, because most of his good Sheer Force moves were coverage as besides Earth Power. Now physical and special Sheer Force are both very valid and viable, and you can easily switch between the two. Even stuff like Power Whip and all these other great moves, the Energy Ball, you've got all types of crazy stuff. Aura Sphere, Takedown, Play Rough, Rock Climb, Gunk Shot, all Thrust, all these moves are Sheer Force boosted, so he's got an absolute luxury of coverage moves to choose from, as well as his good dual stab combo. Ground Flag, we all know, is very solid. Like I said, Therian form, it's also got more spread now, so like an Assault Vest, Intimidate, U-turn set could be pretty good for certain boss fights, but I would probably rather run like Parting Shot, bulky stuff, or just bulky, or just a Air Late Extreme Speed bullshit. Really just depends on the boss fight, because you can easily switch between those depending on the situation, because you have access to infinite usability capsules and infinite EV training items. Yeah, other good Air Late moves, like I said, you get back Hyper Beam, Strength, Hyper Voice, Retaliate are the same power. Rage is good on Therian form, because Rage will give you a +1 attack boost, and it's 80 base power, so you can use like Air Late Rage plus Extreme Speed. That could be pretty fun. Like I said, Roost can keep him healthy throughout the match, because you can't use healing items in battle now. So Roost, you know, E-Speed, Parting Shot, like that's a really good set. You can just E-Speed, kill something, whatever you want to do. All right, he can do so many things. You can run utility, you can run offense. Incarnate form is mostly just offense because his bulk is worse, but you can still run a bulkier set because Incarnate form is significantly faster than Therian. So you can run Battle Cry or Parting Shot on Incarnate form as well, and you know, use that for utility. It's not purely just an offensive Pokemon, although you do have the luxury of switching forms whenever you need to. So yeah, these guys are all super awesome. Late game encounters, of course. By the time you catch them, they'll be totally balanced. Maybe if you had a full team, it might be excessive. Like, yeah, if you have 6 like Wormhole legendaries, but even then, like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not gonna have that easy of a time, because you need to know like your way around Nuzlocking and how the AI works and how to exploit it and stuff in order to get around. Otherwise, you're not really going to be able to succeed as well. Although it is balanced for Nuzlocke, so it's balanced with the fact that you're supposed to keep your Pokemon alive. If you just sack everything, then yeah, you can probably get through most boss fights on the first or second attempt, depending on your skill level. But that's for another video one day when I get to those trainer rosters. In general, great buffs for Landorus. Like I said, in-game use, all right? I'm not fucking crazy. Landorus D is already super oppressive. God forbid, in VGC he has Roost and Parting Shot and Intimidate. But in general, every Pokemon with Intimidate has Parting Shot on this hack. It's just a nice utility option to deal with all of the offensive bullshit. And keep in mind, there's a lot of new crit moves, like I said, that will completely not give a crap about Parting Shot or Intimidate or any of this bull crap. They're not going to give a shit, all right? They don't care. They crit right through your boost, and those are pretty damn common. Basically, most Pokemon have at least one crit move. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Even First Impression, for example, is a crit move. But yeah, I'll leave the video off there. You can figure out the rest of the buffs and changes for yourself in the description. Check out all these new Sheer Force boosted moves, because there's a giant list of them and it would take me absolutely forever. I could rapid fire every single one right now, actually, so I'll do that before I end the video. I'm going to list everyone, even if it's good or not. So Fly, Air Slash, Whiplash technically, although you're using it on Air Late. Precipice Blade's Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is even stronger than Earth Power, which is crazy, although you do have 10% less accuracy and it's not reteachable either. Grass Knot, Rock Tomb, Bulldoze, Rage, actually technically is not, never mind. Scorching Sand, Psychic, Aura Sphere, Rock Slide, Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Lunge, Earth Power, Iron Tail, Hell Thrust, Gunk Shot, Play Rough, Rock Climb, Takedown, Sludge Wave, Hurricane, Power Whips, and Focus Blast. Those are all your Sheer Force boosted moves, alright? Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Hopefully you found this video entertaining and interesting and all that fun stuff. And I'll be back for more Unova Legendaries coming up. Peace.